Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Put it on. Testing. Hello. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Tell me if you hear that. Mhm. Hello. So can anybody hear me? How do I put more light in here? Okay. So can anybody hear me now? It's so what? Say it. Okay. If y'all can hear me, let me know. Okay. Wow. So we have one person on there. Oh. Oh man, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. All you had to say was, "Oh yeah, Dad." I think that's me. You don't have to say it like that. Where? Hold on. I'm gonna have to turn this on. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on, everybody. I'm trying to get something here. If y'all can hear me. Gonna take a little bit. You know what? What's crazy too is over here I have a little bit of a blue light, but I don't want to turn the blue light on with it. Maybe? What do you think? Yeah. So put the put a light over there. I'll give it to you right here. Just don't bump into the camera. You're gonna catch. Okay, hold on. Hold on. See, so how are you? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get this connected for our paranormal scary stories. Do you have a piece? No, you can just have the light. What? Ah, let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, it was too late. It passed.
Oh, it lit up.
Yeah, it went through.
Everybody, there was a paranormal thing that just happened right now. Listen, this thing just lit up. This thing just lit up by itself. That is crazy. Here, you can talk to them.
Hi guys.
Okay.
Um,
That is crazy. Here, you can talk to them.
let's see how loud it goes. Hi guys. Um, it looks like we're having a disco. Paranormal. Oh, that's pretty late.
That's better.
Looks like we're having a
Yes or no?
disco. It hasn't showed yet. We're still on light.
Oh, it's good. It looks nice. It looks better.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It'll show you in the frame because at first you were not gonna be there. It hasn't showed yet. We're still on light. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, hello. I'm pretty sure there's two more people here. I need to put this down. So like,
So basically, last night was the scariest time at all of all. I decided to take. Wait, can you see me? Can people see me? Hold on. There's like a 3-year lag on it.
like, you're getting bumped by it. My goodness.
Yeah, there's a lot of lag on it, but I think it's good too because that's how they are able to do the things. So established wise, um, um, so I would like to talk about one of my videos called Emanuel. So it was this kid, and we're gonna hear the video right now in a little bit, and y'all could tell me what y'all think about it. This happened not too long ago, and it was Emanuel. Oh, it's called Emanuel. He's a kid that gets picked up by a guy in he gets picked up by a guy in wait, I want to see if we're able to hear you too. Hold on. Hold on. What?
It's like actually being like real life. There is, right? Oh, okay. I was supposed
Has to be.
It's like someone's walking like very heavy. Like someone.
So if I talk right now, look, look, if I talk, look, if it's in the middle, can me and you both hear?
We are doing paranormal scary stories.
Okay, let's see if we can hear you say that.
Doing paranormal.
Oh, and it wasn't that close to you, right?
Yeah.
So um, it was it's a scary story about Emmanuel, and we're gonna hear that right now. I reset the story to where it's better and clearer. It's a kid that's a ghost, and he gets picked up on the side of the road. And I believe this is paranormal story number 58. Have you heard any scary stories about people that get picked up on the side of the road?
Yeah, lots of them.
What ends up happening?
Where some will just be like, they'll take a girl on the side of the road and be like, "Oh, are you okay?" She jumps in the car, and when they drop her off, she just won't be in the car. Like she just vanishes. Those type of scary stories. And then there's other ones where like um like there's one I think everyone heard where, like he picked up a girl on the side of the road and he dropped a CD of like his music on the floor, so went to go look down and get it real quick, and he saw that she actually had duck feet.
Let's see if we can hear you saying that. Okay. Um, I wonder where I put my Red Bull. And you know what? This is funny. If I just have this right here, let's see if you can actually hear me talking. Ready? I'm just gonna clip it on and see. Okay, there. Can y'all hear me talking clearly? Let's see. Damn, that's clear. This is real clear. Yeah. Can you hear from there? Just say something.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, perfectly.
Hey.
You put it lower again.
No. I'm gonna get bubble right now.
Oh, now can you get a bottle for her without moving the camera? Thank you. Really, technically, it should have been on the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get the bottle.
Go full on, Mama.
Don't. Okay, so basically, how many people are working now?
Technically.
Okay. Maybe I should put it brighter. On here, you can actually put it a little brighter, and it'll turn brighter. The brightness up. This is brighter. That's darker. This is brighter.
The flashes in the color.
Oh, it does. What about blue? Green? Oh no, it's better to be white.
Emoji.
Wow. Are those ghost emojis? Yeah.
Emojis in it.
Okay. Wow, that's just. See, and is your thing all the way up?
Amazing.
The-
No, 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 it comes down but
Oh, okay. I just want to see how it looks like. Oh, that's good. Okay. I didn't know. Okay. So I do have to play the thing. Let me get my monster. That's coming down no scary close. So
guys, do y'all like scary stories? And do you have anything that you would like to share? Guys, do y'all like scary stories? And do you have anything that you would like to share? And if so, do y'all want to share a scary story to us? Um, if so, do because today we are doing scary stories. We have the book here, and then he's also going to do the tablet about. He's gonna like share some of them on the tablet. So yeah, you want to share anything? You can. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Don't you say anything about any scary paranormal stories, right?
Oh yeah, I asked him again. If you want to share some scary stories, you can. Tablet, right? Issues. The little candles are going out. So. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Um. Yeah, just like anyone have any scary stories you want to share before we play the video on the tablets. We're gonna put a scary story on the tablet, but before we do that, does anyone like want to share?
What where's my riddle?
Okay.
You just start. You want half of this in? I'm about.
Yeah.
Here, you drink out of it first.
No, keep it in a cup.
No, you can have it first.
Uh.
I'll drink after. I'm not concerned about them. Oh. So.
I would just like to sip on it during it. So.
Oh.
Boop. Yeah. Mm, yeah. We're gonna start in a little bit with the video. Um, Before we do that, does anyone want to share anything?
Okay, so. We're already using this. Monster Energy Backflip.
There's his energy drink, and there's mine. This is Jesus. Thanks. Someone said that Jesus loves me, and he's coming soon. John 3:60.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks.
How soon? How soon is this?
How soon is he coming?
Okay. Same person? Yeah.
I
I don't know if I'm ready.
I'm not sure.
What do I have to do to be ready?
What does he have to do to be ready? He loves you dearly.
What do I have to do to be ready?
Wow.
Hmm.
Oh no, that's a good one.
What?
Oh. No. This is
What's this?
report of your son.
Report of your sins. That's it, and I'll be saved. That's all to it. I thought there was more work than that. I thought Jesus said to make disciples and to become a disciple and to preach the good news, do all that. So you're saying all I have to do is just accept them and I'm saved?
It's yeah.
Why?
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it. I believe you have to not be part of the world, uh, be away from the world, away from politics, anything like that. Um, you have to make sure you do what Jesus did. In a sense, you have to. Jesus, basically says to make disciples, right? To be a disciple, to make disciples. Um, and there's a lot more work to that. And the reason why is because in the Bible, especially in Matthew, I think Jesus said, "Everyone who comes to me," that said, they're going to say, "Lord, Lord, did I not prophesy in your name? Did I not accept you?" And Jesus will still turn you down because there's work to be done, a lot of work, and that work is not again is being a disciple, putting all your work into your faith. So again, faith without works is dead. So there, rather than just saying it or whatever, you basically have to turn your whole life around. You have to preach the good news. You have to literally preach, and I mean like Jesus did. Um, Basically, you have to not be a part of the world. When it comes to politics, when it comes to everything the world does, wars or anything that the world does. Because remember, Jesus wasn't part of none of that. Jesus was part of his own government, his own kingdom, the kingdom of the heavens. Remember? So basically, it's a whole big thing you have to do, and it's a lot of work to it. That's why he said that the gates to everlasting life is small and narrow, and the gates to the other side of paradise is going to be real big. So remember, we just don't say it. A lot of it has to do with. That's why it's so hard. But I understand exactly what you're saying. But yeah, there's a lot more to it. Here, I'm going to play a paranormal story that I made. It's a true story, and I really would like for y'all to understand the meaning behind it. If I can find it. Let me see. Could be this one. I got to hook it up to the Bluetooth. And I believe the Bluetooth is still on. Hold on one second. Again, paranormal story number one, the horned creature. Mm. Hi, I was born in 1983. Every summer I would visit my aunt's farm in South Wales. I was out in the countryside that had many acres of land with fields, forests, and streams. When I was about 6 or 7 years old, the Bible and proper content, people will not be rejected for their words. Yeah, like I said, faith without works is useless. So just like you said, yeah, the Bible, I mean, it says it right there. Faith without works is useless. So meaning that you have to work towards it. You have to work towards it. You have to put on a new personality. Can't be the old personality. So before you knew Jesus, you have to change your whole life to not be a part of this world in the bad things in it, not just the everything the world is, the governments. Remember, when Jesus comes back, who is he going to go against? Let's see, Lexington 242. When Jesus comes back, who is he going to? Let's see if you know this line. When Jesus returns, who is he going to fight? Let me know if you know the answer to that. When Jesus returns, he will conquer. He will fight against who? Do you know the answer to that? It takes a while for this. Jesus will allow. Actually, it's not just repenting. You have to make disciples of Jesus, and you have to live according to Jesus. It's not just about repenting. Remember, because if that was the case, then he would not say, "Do not be a part of the world." Um, remember, Jesus said, "Do not be a part of the world." It's in Matthew, John, it's in Luke. Do not be a part of the world as they are. Meaning every single thing they do when it comes to politics, when it comes to wars, when it comes to everything, when it comes to the way they live, in I guess you could say in sin, whatever it is. But it's not just about repenting. Repenting is just 1/10 of it. So Jesus said, "Do as I do." So in a sense, his role in your life would be to try to do what Jesus did to the best of your ability, not just to repent. If that was the case, everybody would be saved because everybody can repent. Lots of people repent. I've seen it happen, and then they go to doing wrong. So the answer to the question is, when Jesus comes, he is going to go against the government of the world. So when Jesus comes, he is going to go against the governments of the world, and he will conquer the world and everyone in it. And again, let's go back. We should go back to the part to where people are going to say, remember, people are going to say, Jesus, did I not prophesy in your name? Did I not repent? Did I not repent? Did I not do everything you asked? Whatever the case, and they're still not going to make it. They're still not going to make it. So repenting is the least. It's like maybe 1/10 of it. That's barely repenting would be the start of it, but now you have to do your works. And when I say works, what I mean is not doing any of the sins, not doing any of the sins or anything bad, not being a part of the world, living according to the way that God wants you to live. That means the works. So I'm going to go ahead here, and I believe it was this one, if it's the right one. Maybe Samantha's father was messing with us, but no one was there. We decided to brush off the strange occurrences. It wasn't until about 3 o'clock a.m. we decided to head back upstairs and try to get some sleep. When we got to the top of the steps, we froze with absolute terror. A dark, thin black figure stood at the end of a hallway. And hi there, and welcome to Master of Horror. True story. Paranormal story number one. I know this one. Hi there, and welcome to Master of Horror, where I give you the scariest true. 58's it. Hi there, and welcome to Master of Horror. Yeah, this is where I bring you the scariest. All right, here we go. Paranormal stories I've ever come by. Put a lot of food in it. True scary paranormal story number one. Emanuel, the ghost. So after a whole decade of burying this story inside of me, I finally decided to say it. I know other people would like to hear this story, but I also need to hear someone else's take on it and get a different perspective of what had happened. So here goes. In the late fall of 2009, I was driving my friends home after a night of beer and bowling. I was a designated driver, and I was super sober. We were driving down the back roads to avoid roadwork on the highways and driving through small residential areas that had lots of open patches of farmland. Less than a mile from the first stop, where I would be dropping off one of my friends, I spotted something on the side of the road. I applied the brakes and slowed down. In the pitch darkness was a kid, a young boy just wandering down the road all by himself. He looked about 8 or 9 years old. I pulled off the side of the road and quickly got out of the car and walked over to him. When he saw me coming, he just nervously stared at me like a kitten would that's in a cage at a pet store. It was evident that he had been crying. I told him my name and asked him if he was all right and why he was out here and where he was going at this time at night. He was wearing a red shirt that was 2 sizes too big for him, green shorts, and flip flops. It was probably very cold though. He was doing a great job of not showing it. After a while of hesitating, he said his name was Emmanuel and he had run away from home and he had gotten lost and couldn't find his way back. He spoke in a kind of scary low whisper, like he was worried about what he should say. I pulled out my cell phone and asked him for his parents' number so I could call them, and he claimed he couldn't remember it. Then my drunk friends that were in the car started screaming for me to hurry up and get back in the car. My buddy that was in the front seat got out of the car to take a piss in the weeds. So I told Emmanuel to jump in the passenger seat, and I told my drunk friend who got out of the car to climb in the back with the other guys. I closed the passenger door and walked over to the driver's seat, but I did not tell Emmanuel to put his seatbelt on because I didn't want to scare him or make him think that we're trying to abduct him. I just wanted him to remain calm. I started up the car and we started driving. All my intoxic. So in this scary paranormal story, a man is driving down the road and he sees this kid. And this kid is on the side of the road, and this kid looks like he was crying. So he goes to pick up this kid, and he has three of his buddies in the back seat that are waiting that want to go home because they've been drinking or whatever. But whatever the case is, they want to go home because they were at the bar or something. They came from a party or something. Regardless, he gets off and talks to the kid, and the kid said, "My name is Emmanuel, and I ran away from home, basically, and I want to go back home." So he says, "I'll give you a ride." So the kid hops into the passenger side. He tells his buddies to go to the back, three of his buddies, and to just chill while he takes this kid home. Now, who here thinks this kid is a ghost? Who here thinks this kid is a ghost, or do you think this kid is a real kid?
Someone said ghost. And it's why
Exactly.
it's
There's a big
Christian,
chance
right?
that there's a big chance he's not a ghost. But we're gonna see what it is in this story. So let's continue to hear. Let's continue to hear the true story about Emmanuel in Illinois, off I think Highway 30. But let's continue listening. You may be right. I don't know why you have that on there. It's just
Very easy.
okay.
Intoxicated drunk friends were all awkwardly introducing themselves from the back seat, but Emmanuel just stared ahead at the dashboard and ignored them. I noticed after a few moments Emmanuel started crying again. I couldn't tell if they were tears of pain or fear. I just said, "Are you all right, man?" He nodded and let out a tiny hiccup. I told him that there were some fast food napkins under the seat, and he reached down and used one to wipe his tears. I considered calling the cops, but one of my drunken friends was underage, and you know how that goes. The police would be more interested in him than the kid. He said his house was another 10 minutes from here. I had to drop off two of my friends, and the last friend fell asleep in the back seat. I finally left the residential streets and got back on the main road. I drove for a few minutes before finding the street. I asked the kid how long he had been walking, and he replied, "A very long time." I was kicking myself for not offering the kid any food or water. I didn't have any in the car, but I could have definitely stopped somewhere. I finally pulled into the cul-de-sac and drove to the very last house. It was kind of tucked away behind some trees. I pulled into the driveway, but before I could even park the car, the kid opened the door and hopped out and said, "Thanks." I remember thinking that his voice sounded so much more cheerful and calm than it had been before. He ran towards the house, where there was absolutely no lights on, and he waved to me once he got to the front porch. I leaned over to pull the passenger door shut and was surprised to find the handle was icy cold to the touch. Not so cold that it was unpleasant, but cold enough to catch my attention. When I looked back up, Emmanuel was gone, and I hadn't heard the door shut. No lights came on inside the house either. I waited for another 5 minutes, but my friend snoring in the back reminded me I needed to get him home. After I dropped off my last friend, I parked my car and decided to call the police just to do a welfare check on the kid. I gave the operator the address. She informed me that no one lived there. I told her what had happened and asked her to please have a cop go over there to check on the kid. It was already past 2 in the morning. When I pulled into the driveway, two cop cars were already there, waiting for me. They said they had swept the entire property and checked inside the house, but there was no one. I finally contacted a private investigator friend of mine, and she informed me that several years prior to the place being abandoned, another family had lived there in the house who had lost a son in a freak
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
So, Red Hunter, you are absolutely right. 100% correct. That would be kidnapping. That would definitely be kidnapping. So, whenever he came and he saw the kid on the side of the road, the best thing to do right then and there is what? Wait, Red Hunter, what's the best thing for anyone to do when they're on the side of the road and they're, well, I mean, if they're driving and they see a kid on the side of the road? What's the best thing to do? Or if anybody knows the answer to that? Exactly. Why not call the police from the highway? That would have been the best thing for him to do. But um, at the time, he saw this kid, and I guess he wasn't thinking right. His number one thing is to take the kid back home, uh, because in a sense, that's what the cop would probably do: take the kid back home. But if, in other words, the parents of the kid or somebody driving by could have easily got that driver in trouble. That driver because got in trouble for kidnapping. But as we saw, he got lucky because Emmanuel was actually a ghost. At the very end, Emmanuel got dropped off at this house that no one lived in, and he waved goodbye and left. To come to find out that a kid um, didn't make it in that house uh, years before, and his name was, I don't know if it was Marcus or something, but his middle name started with the E. Later on, they found out that that E was really Emmanuel. That's super scary. Yeah, but that's very true. Paranormal story. Uh, so our last paranormal story for today. Our last paranormal story today is also a true story from, I believe, Amanda or something like. Let me see. I can't. Uh,
Who had lost a son in a freak accident. He had been killed while riding his bike on the side of the road.
okay, so this would be
Like, after waiting in
second.
my car for a few moments, I drove off. Finally came around. In the summer, there were plenty of camps. In November,
Okay,
number 2, the church entity.
the
My
church
name is
entity.
Lana, and I'm finally ready to talk about what happened to me in the summer of 2019. I had just turned 16 that November, and I was ecstatic. I could finally get my driver's license, and that was my first step to freedom. After my birthday had passed, the summer finally came around. In the summer, there were plenty of camps I could have attended. The one that I finally set my mind on was called United Methodist Camp. Basically, what you would do was you went for a week Sunday through Saturday, and during that time, you worked all day building things, usually wheelchair ramps for the elderly or disabled. It was generally a fun experience until Wednesday rolled around. The day we started the fun experience. Until Wednesday rolled around, the day we started the unusual waking up at 6 a.m. At 11, all the teams, including mine, would head out and start on the wheelchair ramps. We usually were able to finish a ramp in about 2 days. So Wednesday was my team's second day working on this particular ramp. We finished up at around 3 in the afternoon. So my counselors and the rest of my team headed back to the church that we were staying at. I should probably clarify the living situation. The boys stayed in a separate building, and the girls stayed in the basement of the church. I'm not sure about the boys' rooms, but the girls were put into a room down in the basement that was originally used as a Sunday school classroom. There were 2 pictures hanging on the wall of Mary and a picture of Jesus. That Wednesday night, we all laid down to go to sleep. There was a girl named Sydney who was laying down across the room, and she started saying things like, "We should tell scary stories." We all asked her to go to sleep. Sydney proceeded to knock on the wall behind her, saying, "What if we get a knock back from the other side of the wall?" After about 5 minutes, the room was dead silent.
So this girl goes to a camp. So, it's called a summer camp, and it's at a church. So the girls, they have their rooms in the basement, while the I think the boys are upstairs, and they have their rooms upstairs in the church area. And this girl named Sydney, there always has to be one person that wants to start contacting the paranormal. She says, "Why don't we knock on the wall and see
See if we can get anything paranormal.
see if we can get any kind of paranormal contact." After she knocks on the wall for a while, they get no answer, and now everyone is asleep. So all these girls are that are at the summer camp, they fell asleep already. All these guys. But here we go. Yeah. Oh, this is right. Oh, this was. Oh, it's backwards. This was over there. Why is it over there?
No, you've been using it.
Oh, this was yours.
Yes.
Oh, bad. I need this one. Okay. Whatever's yours, keep it away.
5 minutes, the room was dead silent. We all figured that Sydney had passed out. So one by one, we all drifted off to sleep. I was laying on the opposite side of the room from Sydney, and I was facing the pictures of Mary and Jesus. After everyone had fallen asleep, I was still awake, just laying there in silence. Finally, my eyes became very heavy, and I laid my head down on the roll-up mattress. Suddenly, I heard this tiny knock coming from the wall behind us. The knock was quiet enough for only me to hear, but just loud enough to wake me out of my tired state. I then looked at the pictures that faced me on the other side of the room. I then sat up in bed in a state of terror. What I saw will forever haunt me to this day. I saw a tall, faceless figure leaning down, staring at me. The thing was so tall it had to bend its extremely skinny neck to look at me with its featureless face. I was frozen in fear. I couldn't move or scream. The figure started to bend its neck down towards me. What felt like an eternity of laying there, watching this freakish thing move closer to me. A light flashed in the room from someone's phone and snapped me out of my trance. I jumped to my feet and dove into the bed of one of my friends. I stayed there with her for the rest of the night with my head under the covers. I cried until I finally passed out from exhaustion. When I woke up that morning, I acted everything was normal. I was terrified about what I saw, but if I said anything to anyone, they would have thought that I was going nuts. So I kept it to myself. My counselor kept asking me if it was okay. She told me later on that she caught me staring off into space and silently crying throughout the day, which I have no memory of. I really wish this was the end of the story, but to my dismay, it is not. When night came, the girls had gotten into a fight about something, and this resulted in them moving into different rooms. My best friend Milani and myself were the only ones left in the room with the pictures. I was absolutely terrified to go to sleep in the room again, since it was just me and only one other person. As we were settling down for the night, my youth director, Rose, who was a close friend of ours, walked into our room and talked to us for a while. Suddenly, we heard an ear-piercing scream echo through the basement. It came from one of the other rooms the girls had moved into. The three of us rushed into the hallway to see what was happening. The girls ran out of the room and were absolutely hysterical. One of them grabbed me and said, "He's here! The devil's here!" I then made my way into the room that the girls had just fled, and I felt a dark presence lurking there. When I looked to the corner of the room, I could see the same dark figure that I had saw the night before. I then turned around and left the room as quickly as I could. One of the girls was finally able to tell us that something had grabbed one of them, and a moaning sound could be heard in the room. I'm not sure if the girls actually saw something, but I put two and two together and concluded that there was something evil residing within that church. And that night, it showed itself to me for some unknown reason.
Alright. Well, um,
Okay, okay, okay. So at the end of that story, we know what happened. That they all had to run out of the basement because there was a demon-like creature that was in the basement, and the rest of the girls screamed and they ran out of the room because this entity came to life. Now, if Cindy would have never knocked on the wall, and she would have never said, "Let's do this," because you got to remember, they got to the camp on Wednesday, so it got way um
I don't know how, yes.
I do believe it because of every single thing I see. Every true stories, all these true stories about paranormal, I really believe it. I believe it's easier for you to get haunted and to have paranormal things happen than not to happen. A lot of people do not tell these stories. They don't tell what actually happens, and that's why it's not known. Nobody wants to come out and say it. Hey, my house is haunted. Hey, last night I saw a dark entity at my doorway. People don't want to say it. They think that they're going to look like they're, like they're joking or lying. I don't know. But at the end of this story, we find out that the church is haunted and the basement was haunted and there was a demon hiding in the basement. So that was very, very scary. And it showed itself. It first showed itself to the narrator, the girl, who was against it, and then it showed it to everybody else. So there you have it. Paranormal stories on my channel. I got that story directly from my channel, Master of Four. And if y'all could please subscribe and listen to these stories, like I said, all the stories on here are 100% true paranormal stories. And what I did was I actually got the scariest stories that I've ever heard, the scariest paranormal stories. I bunched them up and I put them on my channel. Obviously, obviously, some store, most of them are of my own accord because I lived in a Honda trailer for more than 10 years. So if not all, most of them are from that, and a lot of them are older stories that they've played on TV a long time ago. You know, things like that 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 I heard that are super scary, and I know they're going to make you, they're going to petrify you. So thank you so much. Yes. So somebody said kukui. Yes. Yes, there is. Yeah, and it's true. I call them kukuis. You can call them what you want. So
Yeah.
this is also a wool bracelet. I mean, a wool necklace. It's made of pure wool. It has a frequency of 5,000, really, really strong. And so basically, it helps also when it comes to trying to see certain scary things happening. It happens a lot because if remember the frequency is really up there. So already, we usually are on here for 1 hour. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to make it an hour every night to get used to every single person. One time there was a coat hanging on my door. I had brought a date home. I guess energy was high because I blasted that thing away. You blasted your date away?
Wait, what? Wait, huh?
Or you blasted your coat away? I believe your coat away because I don't think you'd be here. I don't think that you'd be.
Blasted her away.
No,
No, I think it's the coat.
I shot the coat. Oh, cool. Dang. The energy. Hello, energy fields. Like I said, there's energy all around. Candlelight energy. Candles emit energy. It's a real fire. Lights don't. The energy from the light, remember, is just enough energy to light the bulb, and then it goes out. The energy gets the electricity is just enough to light the bulb. The candlelight is a different type of frequent energy. That's why a lot of the Indians back then, when they would summon these spirits, they were doing the bass drum. Remember the bass drum, boom, boom, boom. The bass calls out these evil or these spirits and these demons. The bass drum. So if you hear a lot of bass, the drums were actually originated with the spirits. Remember, the Indians did this back then. Also, fire, candlelight, it brings out the entities from the other side. So just to let you know, if you got bass drum and you got the candlelight, you put them together, something's going to happen. So that right there. So it's been said. Also, have you ever heard any songs, y'all, that say la 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 la? La 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 la. The la la comes from talking tongues, but in the pagan way. It was believed to call out spirits saying la 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 la. And in a lot of songs you will hear la 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 la. And the reason why is in the song, uh, that's what they're doing. So those three things that I just told y'all, if y'all can, y'all can remember them. La 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 was something that happened many, many, many years ago that would call out the spirits. The bass drum, when you play the bass drum, it calls out spirits. And the last thing is candlelight and fire usually will call out the spirits. But it's been really good. We have 39 people in here. Hardly anybody comments. Y'all let me know if y'all enjoyed the stories. You can put a thumbs up or let me know. If not, please just like it. There's like I said, there's 39 people in here and there's only 3 likes. If y'all could like it, that'd be wonderful. Unless some of y'all fall asleep to it, because these are scary stories that I'm playing. So if some of y'all fell asleep, that's awesome. No problem with that. Um, yeah, if there's no benefit to them, they won't give you the Powerball numbers. They won't give you the Powerball numbers. Is the Powerball numbers going to benefit the entity? Absolutely not. So they're not going to do it. I wouldn't. If I was an entity, I wouldn't give out Powerball numbers. Would you? I wouldn't.
Usually have to give that a return.
Somebody said that they're listening to these and starting to get paranoid. Yeah, yeah, basically. And also, if you're playing these right now and you're alone, or if you're playing this right now, the entities themselves can hear this. Okay, and there's a bigger chance they're going to be around. They're going to be where you are, where this thing is playing at, because when you're talking about them, it when you're talking about them, it basically is going to bring them. It's basically going to bring them to you. Bring them to you. Remember, so those are the three things. Does anybody know the three things that I explained that bring the entities to you? What are the three things?
That's it.
Yes, it's king. I fear no demon. I won't let them. Yeah, you don't want to fear them. Um,
He'd be off of it.
they do. They feed off fear. So yeah, that's a good start. Extra extra nerve, extra swerve. What is it? I can't see. My glasses are really. I need to get better glasses. Extra swerve. Extra swerve. So thank you for your comments. I really appreciate it.
What?
Extra swerve. Yeah, yeah. Well, you don't got to worry about that. Uh, we're gonna be leaving right now. I want to say thank you, and I'll see y'all for sure tomorrow if y'all want to come on. It's gonna be the same time. I'm gonna play two more scary stories, and then I'll go ahead and call the ghost for you, Mister Naridge. Come tomorrow, and for sure you'll see it. Okay. Um. So that
And if you want to subscribe, so we do
yeah, if y'all could please subscribe, like I said, because it'll let you know when I'm on.
live.
Tomorrow night, again, I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to post two paranormal stories and tonight, but tomorrow I'm going to play them, and I'll also go ahead and do something scary for y'all. So thank you so much, and I will see y'all later. And peace out.